proven techniques to motivate yourself to make a change. As someone who has been heavily involved in fitness for 6 years, is building his own business, got a 4.0 GPA in both high school and college, I want to talk about how you can use these techniques to motivate you to take action on things today. And the first piece is to recognize that starting is truly the hardest part. Starting can be very difficult, but the way you have to look at starting is you could first ask yourself, what limiting beliefs do you have around the thing that you want to motivate yourself around? So for me, it was sales. That was something that I had huge limiting beliefs around. I used to believe that sales were not harmful, but they were hard, and I didn't want to be that pushy salesman, and I was being harmful if I was being that pushy salesman. So I had to redo my thinking. I had to think that, number one, what are the behaviors that I am not good at, the actions specifically that I need to take so sales can be easy? So that was the first piece, and I understood that I needed to have more inflection in my voice at this time, and I needed to ask more questions. And when I was being pushy, it wasn't that I was being pushy, it was objection handling, and how to get good at objection handling itself. And then I had to reframe my whole belief around sales, that it was this pushy, slimy thing, to a thing of, I am helping someone make a decision about a product or a service that could change their life, assuming I believe in it. I would never sell something I didn't believe in. So that was for me. I had really big limiting beliefs around sales, and it was important that I got over those limiting beliefs so I could start doing sales for my coaching, for the courses that I sell, stuff like that. So it was important for me to do that. For you, it might look like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough. Those phrases may run through your head. And when you say those things, the way you can get over these limiting beliefs is if you're telling you're not smart enough. Well, and I got this from Alex Ramosi, I'll preface that now. When you talk about not being smart enough, we want to define what is intelligence. And I would define intelligence rate of learning. So what is learning? Well, learning is new behavior, same condition. So for example, with my sales example, if I was, I went through a sale, I kind of bombed it, whatever, I didn't overcome a money objection. The next person comes up and they have a money objection. Do I do the same thing? Do I say the same line? Or do I change and handle that objection differently? That's learning. And that rate of that learning is intelligence. So that's just an example. And again, I'm gonna give credit to Ramosi for that. He taught me how to break up that chunked up language that we use. So when you're saying that you're smart enough, what are the behaviors that you are not doing or are doing that look like you're not smart enough? So challenging those limiting beliefs is going to be the first piece of starting and getting yourself motivated. The second piece is looking at what is your current routine, and does that current routine serve the identity and you want to be 10 years from now? Because often the current routines that we have, if we feel unmotivated and we're trying to change, is they don't serve us. They don't serve the person we want to be in 10 years. So you want to look at the habits and the behaviors that you are doing right now, and sometimes modify those to create more motivation, because you're changing behaviors to create the future you want to be. And I think that's motivating, the self-growth piece of understanding that I am taking action so that I can be the person I want to be in 10 years. That's super exciting for me. So that could be something you can do. And the third piece within starting is recognize your resistance. So for me, when I say resistance, it's that force that tries to prevent you from taking action. So for me, it's a lot of self-doubt and a lot of procrastination. That's the resistance that I face. So for you, maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's fear of success. What happens if I do win? Maybe it's fear of the unknown. Maybe it's the unknown in general. Maybe it is procrastination. Maybe it is self-doubt. There's so many different forms of resistance, but if you can gather those and recognize those, it'll be easier for these next two steps we're going to talk about. The second piece is to set goals around these things. I think it's really fun to go from this intangible, chunked up language to then define what are the actions we need to take and the things that we can change. And the way you can do this is setting goals around it. And the way I like to set goals is in the balance wheel area. So the balance wheel in the description below, but simply put, professional, relationships, health, and resources are the 4 areas that you would set goals within. And within those, I like to set yearly visualization goals as well as quarterly objectives that break down to my sticky notes that are daily goals, and they are all around those 4 areas of the balance wheel, and there's 3 subcategories to each area of the balance wheel. I find that it's really helpful to do those things, and the way I do it is the 4 It's of goal setting, which is say it out loud, write it down, put a date on it, and send it or share it with someone. And so I would like you to set goals around things that really matter to you. So in those 4 areas, what are the things that you really want to change within the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years? So for me, something that's really big is professional, but specifically within professional, the purpose that I feel like I'm here on earth. That purpose being is helping people go from victim to victor so they can take control of their lives and live a life on their terms. I went to the hospital when I was 17 years old for some pretty serious suicidal ideation, but I truly believe it was one of the most powerful things that happened, because in there, I realized in my life that I was dealt two aces. I saw this 11-year-old girl in there that was struggling with suicidal ideation, and it upset me so much. Not at her, but at the world. Why does she feel this way? So I was so mad about that, and so now it is my mission to solve that problem. So a lot of my goals are around that, and that's really exciting and really motivating to me. So identifying what are your purposes and what are your values are, and then setting the goals around it can be helpful to motivate yourself as well. The second piece within that is to set small actionable steps from those goals. So my goal to do that is a lifelong journey goal. So for me to just say that, it can be difficult for me to break that down. But what I do is that one of my other goals is to become an established coach. I believe if I'm an established coach, then I can have a more impact in that area. So established coach to me means making like 6 figures a year, have a brand, so then I could just continue to scale and use that capital to help other people and to continue to grow my business, right? So when I say that established coach, that's a function of my top goal, the established coach, and then below established coach, the way I do that is marketing in some form, whether that's my content, so I have a lot of goals around content, as well as my email marketing piece. So with my email marketing, I'm always looking at, okay, how many messages do I want to send within a week? Okay, how many messages do I want to send within a quarter? So in a week, I want to send about 800 messages a week. So then I break that down even further into daily goals. So I'm breaking those small actionable steps. So far, guys, we've kind of talked about and break down that starting is the hardest part and how you can define the things that you need to start and define the things you need to change, then with goals. If you like these more actionable videos where I break down things into actionable steps, leave a comment and I'll make more of these. So the third and the final piece of this is to build a system of accountability. We can rah-rah and get super excited about the goals we've set, but if we're not accountable on them, if we don't execute upon them, why do they matter? So this is why you build that system of accountability. The 4 It's of goal setting, as I mentioned earlier, is a great way to create accountability. And so with that, you want to find a friend, a partner, or a mentor that you can share these goals with. It'll make you more accountable and make you more likely to achieve them when someone else knows about them. On top of that, I'd like you to track your progress. So I have 2 ways that I track. Well, 3 actually. The sticky note, that's my daily tracker. Just check it off as I go, and that's kind of my daily tracker of how many goals. I have my metrics tracker when it comes to content made, when it comes to messages sent, stuff like that more tangible actions when it goes to the marketing, the sales, and the specific hard skills of building a business. As well as when I have some of my more personal goals, whether that's going to the gym, going to bed on time, building my discipline, stuff like that, I use a bullet journal. And the bullet journal is basically you just lay out your whole month, you put all the days up top, and then you write about 3 to 5 things that you want to do, and it's simply just put a bullet if you do it. It's motivating in and of itself when you see that string of bullets, because you don't want to break that string. Maybe your goal is to drink a gallon of water a day. And so with that string of bullets, you're like, I don't want to drink this liter before I go to bed, but I want to do this so I continue my string of goals. So that can be motivating in and of itself, just tracking the thing. As well as you can use apps, like when I track my weight, I just use my lifting app, stuff like that. Those can be really helpful and just motivate you by tracking itself and make you more likely to achieve the things you want to. One final thing, if you feel the need to, reward yourself. The way I reward myself is finding the next goal, finding the next thing I want to accomplish, because for me, it's a feedback loop that is positive in and of itself. So I enjoy doing this. I enjoy finding the next step, and what's led me to understand is the work is the goal. Again, I got that from Alex Hormozi, and I have a sticky note. It's my only sticky note I have there. It says the work is the goal. It's just pasted up on my little pencil holder, and it's really helpful for me to remind myself that the quality and the quantity of my work is my goal. And so that in and of itself is rewarding, but if you want to find a way to reward yourself, you can do something external. And I've done that before too. It's totally cool to do that. Sometimes I reward myself by going to get Raising Cane's or something as silly as that, but rewarding yourself with something external can be motivating in and of itself as well, or taking something away can be another reward for yourself. So that's proven techniques to motivate yourself to make a change. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.